itself, but the self, once again, is very dangerous. We are the worst enemies of our souls. We are the worst enemies of ourselves. Reason: it's because many times we trust ourselves too much, and then we have no space to listen to others, or we give others no opportunity to tell us what is wrong and what is right. It is very dangerous to cling to self, and it can also be very beneficial if we know how to manage self. It is a very dangerous thing to think that we know everything, and it is also a dangerous thing to have known nothing. So it is very important that we know how to control our emotions and how to listen to self and to listen attentively. Right now, when I'm speaking to you, one of my friends whom I spoke to is at a critical condition in the hospital, in the ICU. In 48 hours' time, he had not responded. And this is all because he couldn't listen. He couldn't listen at all. This is someone personally I have dealt with. Someone who is close to me. Someone whom we talk and share. And because of that, I wouldn't go even into details. But it is very dangerous when you fail to listen to others. Sometimes when they make sense to us. At this time of COVID-19, I bear in mind that so many persons are ill. Perhaps not the physical illness, but emotionally you understand by just talking to people that people are sick. Most people are smiling, but it is just a fake smile. And we need to realize this. And we need to realize that even we ourselves are not that strong enough. We need each other. And it's a beautiful season as well, as we see what has happened to Floyd George from the United States, this black man, black American, who was killed brutally. Because this shows us that the world is never that much divided. The unity that I see, I cannot imagine people from Canada, people from Australia, people from Jamaica, people from the United States, people from UK, people from Kenya, and other parts of the world, gathering to show solidarity to this one single black man who was killed brutally in the daylight. So this shows us that even if we think we live by ourselves and we can control ourselves, we still need each other. The otherness should be the key as to why we serve. The otherness should be the key as to why we even have to listen to each other. Each one of us is important, perhaps not in our own eyes, but in the sight of God. Each of us matters so much. I do not understand why there is so much disrespectfulness amongst us, but I do understand that each of us matters a lot. You'll find in your own life that there are still things that you can do by yourself, and there are things that you can do by yourself. And all these things complement each other. What you can do, I can do. What I cannot do, perhaps I cannot do. And what I can do, perhaps someone next to me cannot do. And if I cannot do it, someone else is there who can do it. So we realize how important it is to be united. And I'm calling upon all the people of this world, and especially the black people. This is a time that we need to unite to each other. Why do we remain divided? Why is it that our countries are the most countries caught up with corruption? Why is it that we are jealousy to each other? Why is it that we do not want to see our brothers and our sisters rising? We do not want to see them receiving promotions. We do not want to see them upgrading. We do not want to see the child of our neighbor getting better than my child. Where does this pain come from? Why is it that we are so bitter towards each other? Did you know that a house divided falls? Did you know that a house that has unity stands? Did you know that once you unite, the more peaceful you become? Did you know that you're not looking for any reward, perhaps in this world, but there is a great reward in the next? Did you know that when you fail to receive either the blessings that you're looking for, did you know it is kept for your next generation? Why do we cut off those blessings from each other? It is my belief that after this situation of Floyd, that things somehow must change. The way we achieve things, we need to change from our attitude and the way we understand each other. I think we need to have more unity. But think this cannot be promoted by one person. I and you must stand up for the rights of others. We must show that those who are defenseless have a defense. We must stand for those who have no one to stand up for them. And we must begin especially with the unborn. Those who are unborn have nobody to defend them. They have nobody to protect them. If their mothers even fail to protect them with the amniotic fluid that protects the child, and they end up killing them, it is painful to the child. It is painful to the fetus, because he or she in there molding up to become a human person, to become a human being, is important. Perhaps not in your own sight, because he can't do much at this moment, but in the sight of God, he is a human person with soul and body. So we need to respect the unborn. We need to respect that child, that fetus who have no one to protect them. We must feel the pain when a doctor or whoever attends to that, or goes forward and helps to abort that child. Once who takes a needle and sharp objects to go to destroy that fetus. Can you imagine that fetus who is innocent, who have no sin, and you take whatever you take, sharp objects, or even take pills to kill that fetus? You have an answer to answer. You are accountable, because there is no way it has come into your life in a mistaken way. And even if it come in a mistaken way, you're there to defend its life. Then from that we come to the way we live amongst each other. We fight each other like people who do not exist. We treat each other, with disrespect. We do not fight the humanness of each other. And it is so sad, because we are created in the image and likeness of God. It's so sad and very surprising, to find that if you look at your neighbor's eye, you see your image in your neighbor's eye. You find your shadow in your neighbor's eye. Then you realize that somehow you're a brother, you're a sister to your neighbor. And I think these are the things that we need to look at. Let us begin. Know that, this has to begin from our own homes, and so that we can spread it from one country to the next. God Himself, as today we celebrate the Trinity Sunday, He realized that even as God, even though He could function, for, for to Him everything is perfect, but He realized everyone. So let us realize this, that we are there to liberate each other. We are there to liberate our brothers and our sisters. We are there to look after the orphans. We are there to look at those who are distressed. So many people with depression, so many people who are stressed, so many people, and as we consider them here in quotes, mad people, aren't fully mad. It is only that they have been denied their justice. I feel that I'm called for to foster justice. It is hard sometimes, especially when you find yourself studying alone, but nevertheless, there is nothing wasted. The word of God falls, but it never returns to Him empty. I and you must realize that we have been called to foster this unity, to foster justice. Even if we think we are like a piece of sand in the sea, we are still powerful. We still can place our voice forward, and somehow this could be heard and help others, and especially those who are planning to continue oppressing others. And God continues to work out His miracles, to show His wonders. Recently, I was just reading a story of this. This is a true story of a man who fell into a pit that was dug many years ago, about 60 feet in Kenya. And this man dropped into it. He is mentally disturbed. And he fell from May 22nd, 2020. And he spent inside there 13 days without food. I won't say without water, because when he came out, when he was rescued, the people say that he was wet, his clothes were wet. So they just presume that somehow there was a drop of water inside that kept him alive. But the reality is, for those 13 days, he didn't eat nothing. This is impossible to man, but it is possible to God. Likewise, to restore justice, to restore oppression, to restore what has been placed as hatred, it is very much difficult. To restore that which has been called racism, classism, it's difficult. And sometimes you look at it and you ignore. Protesting for justice to be done on George Floyd's family, a few persons were there mocking us, because they're saying, what can this do? That once who hates you forever. But I reject this and I condemn it. Because if you believe in evil and you believe that evil should last and should win, then you're lost. Something is missing in you. There's no darkness that cannot be overcome by light. For sure we know that one little candle can bring light into what has been darkened. And what gives me courage? It is the life of Jesus Christ itself. Jesus was a single man, and he never failed to point out which was wrong. He never failed to point out and to encourage which was right. And at the same time, he get connected. Look for connection. Connect yourself. Connect with the world, and you shall win. You shall overcome. But alone you cannot stand. You need to come out from your comfortable places that you are in, from your comfort zones. We must leave this that hinders us to liberate others. And we must liberate ourselves so that we can get liberated. We want to set others free. We want to be set free. We want a world that is free. We want a world that is full of freedom. Freedom for the black people. Freedom for everyone. Because our lives matters. And everyone matters indeed. Life is life. And life must give life.